two writing teachers, was it now 3 years ago, the March Slice of Life. And I found that it really changed me as a writer. So when I started to think about my kids, apart from their writer's notebooks where they were capturing moments of their lives, they really weren't spending any time developing that side of themselves as writers. And the writer's notebooks were such private things that there was really no opportunity for them to share. So because I grew so much from the writing community that we had, people commenting, people being very specific about their comments, and it helped develop me. I thought I was missing that opportunity here with my kids, and they would benefit from the experience too.
So what is a slice of life? We start by saying it's a narrative, right? It's a story. Like choosing an everyday moment from your life. So yeah, it can be that awesome moment when you scored the goal, but it could be something simple, like you were sitting at the breakfast table and you looked up and you saw your goldfish swimming around in the goldfish bowl, and you were like, I'm so glad I live a more exciting life than Goldie, my goldfish. It was just a thought that you had, right? So it doesn't have to be this big life-changing moment. It can be just an ordinary moment, but you're choosing a moment from your life. So really what makes a slice of life rich in terms of reading and an interesting slice of life is that it has some of this stuff. And we call this kind of the juicy stuff of our writing, the kind of stuff that we've been working with personal narratives so far. People, someone to be with, some action that might be going on, dialogue, so your reader gets a sense of the way people sound, feelings, right? It gives it a depth that you can connect to the writer, and sensory details. So you can see and hear and feel, like you can touch what this person is writing about, sensory details. I know when Ms. Kaplan and I blog, we have slices of all kinds of varieties. Some are very short, some are kind of listy, different. One of the wonderful things about slicing is that it allows you to experiment as a writer. And you may see Caitlin do something really cool, and then next week you're going to try that. So that's how writers learn from each other. Okay. All right, let's get to work. And you may want to go, you guys do that, you guys do this. So you separate them. Okay. Have you read it? Have you read it? Okay. So how can you take it apart and you learn? What did you learn about slicing?
Well, the person, this slice I read, there was like a switch, because he was talking about how he loved rainy days, but then the whole story switched and it said, I didn't like rainy days and I don't like rainy days and thunderstorms when I really want to play soccer.
What made you pay attention then, James, when you were reading that? Because they pointed that out too.
Yeah.
You noticed that word, the big, right?
Yeah.
In big capital letters saying, but, and then all of a sudden, dot, dot, dot. I'm getting you ready for something new. Nice. Comments. Tell me about comments.
Yeah, all the commenters, they said different things. Because, I noticed in the learning tools, all of, the comments are the same exact thing. These are all different.
You're going to notice that. That's one of the most amazing things. That everybody brings something not only to their slicing, but everybody brings something to their commenting as well. Now, you've read these slices. You know what they are. Just scan over and underline things that you noticed that were awesome. Sure. So pick one of the slices, pick one of the comments, underline, what do you note about this, and then we can talk. James.
Well, I noticed that there was a lot of descriptions, important dialogue, and similes.
Okay, so if we were thinking about ways to juice up our slices, definitely descriptive. Okay, well done. Nick?
They use good word choice.
Good word choice. Okay, word choice. Talk a little bit about that.
But like we use the word choice, it helps the reader like get a better picture of what's happening.
Right? Okay. You're making a writer's decision here. You're not just running around with, you're just saying whatever comes to mind. You're choosing very carefully. It's, what's the word? It's deliberate. There's a deliberate purpose to the way you write. Well done. Anybody else? Tate.
Meaningful dialogue.
Yeah. Speak to me about this, because when we were doing our personal narrative, we talked about this, meaningful dialogue, Tate. So give me an example of it from any one of these slices that was meaningful dialogue.
There's a good surprise waiting for you on Caitlin Slice of Life.
Yeah, there's a good surprise waiting for you. Without that, you wouldn't really have known, right, what was to come. She kind of set you up with that slice, with that particular sentence. Well done. So meaningful dialogue. Asha? Say that again? Inner thoughts, nice. Inner thoughts. How did that help you with Caitlin Slice? How does that help the experience of the reader? Did you notice that in Brett's when you went to see Mariano? Were you with Brett there? Because he did the exact same thing, right? That the excitement of being there at that particular moment. Well done. Jeremy?
Well, all of these writing pieces all have good starts.
Well done.
For Caitlin's, starting from But It Showed until the end, But It Showed that my sister had thought of me even though I'm always mean to her and I would never think of her. It's kind of like what she thinks, like she used to hate her sister, but now her sister's changing her.
Okay. That is reflection. Like it made her think, right? It made her think about her sister. It made her think about her relationship with her sister. She had some reflection. But sometimes at the end of your slice, you come to a realization. I do when I slice. Come to a realization. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Comments. What did you notice about the comments when we flip over the page?
And it seemed that they all really liked one of these texts because they were so full of great detail and it actually helped them. It was like they were that person.
So it's very positive, right? They're very positive. Here is, what plan of action can you make going forward now to improve your slice? Okay, because you didn't as much in your slice, so definitely your game plan is more dialogue. Janelle, as a writer, what could you do as a writer this week moving forward?
Be more descriptive.
Maybe look at one of these slices from this week and be more descriptive, all right?
I said, we walked in my aunt's huge house and greeted everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone shouted. Wow, my face exploded. That's my leg, I screamed. The turkey leg was so big. My tradition was that every year I would eat a turkey leg. It started last year. I walked downstairs with my sister Mia. We were playing a game with ping pong, paddles, and a ball. I whipped the ball so hard that my cousin spilled his wine. Splash. It went everywhere. Miles, go clean it up, my brother screamed. Sorry, Christopher, I shouted. Dinner time. When I was eating my delicious turkey, my cousin and my brother were keep on saying, I'm so full, I'm so full. When we went downstairs to play, my brother was not looking good or feeling good. Blah, blah. My brother threw up. Ew, I screamed. Dessert. Uh-oh.
That was great.
Every year on Thanksgiving, my cousins and I sit at the kids' table and eat our dinner, laughing hysterically the whole time. We only get up to refill any empty cups. This Thanksgiving, we had a fun alternative. Something that was also helpful so we could stay at the table and not interrupt our hilarious conversations. Mr. Moo Moo was his name. My grandma had named him this, and he was given to her by my dad when he was little. Mr. Moo Moo is a cow-shaped milk pitcher in which the milk is poured out of his mouth. Sitting at the small dining room table with my cousin Grace at my side, I grabbed the cow and was the first to pour the smooth milk from his round mouth. Ha! It looks like it is throwing up, my cousin shouted. Of course, we found something to laugh about, pretending the white cow was throwing up when the milk was poured out. That's not something new because we've always had that ridiculous sense of humor, laughing at anything we see. Nothing was wrong with that though. We were having fun, laughing until we couldn't breathe. The thing was, we passed down this picture from one generation to another and it carries memories. This thought came to me when my aunt explained, "It's Mr. Moo Moo, who is the only reason I drank milk." That was when I knew the little cow picture was part of our family because it held our memories.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Go ahead.
That's so cool, I said to my Uncle Keith. In Montana, I go fishing and hunting all the time. With crazy adventures, he responded. My Uncle Keith is the best. He and I haven't seen each other in 5 years because how far apart we live. He was telling us at Thanksgiving all the wild adventures he has while hunting elk and bears. But my favorite story is when he went to his backyard to get wood for his fire and he almost got bit by a rattlesnake.
Whoa.
That's not all though. He's almost the most athletic uncle I've ever met. He plays golf, snowboarding, and fly fishing. All really well. After the meal, Uncle Keith asked me if he wanted to go camping with him if I ever go to Montana. I know my Uncle Keith and I would be really good friends.
Sounds real good.
Thanksgiving dinner. On Thanksgiving, my family usually throws a big party with a lot of food, or goes to one. When people come to our house, usually before, we go around the table and say what we are most thankful for. Then we eat and tell stories about interesting things going on in our lives. But on this Thanksgiving, I found out something very interesting. So I was at the huge dinner table, and as usually, my mom was taking 10 pictures a second. "Mom, can I take some pictures?" I asked as I got up to grab the big detailed black camera. My mom moved the camera away from my hand and looked like she was going to kill me. "What's the magic word?" I rolled my eyes. "Please, can I have the camera?" She gently handed me the camera. I thought in my head about what or who I was going to take a picture of. I looked around. Then all of a sudden, my grandpa suddenly started to laugh hysterically. Perfect. I zoomed in on him and took 5 perfect pictures of him laughing and tears coming down his face. Then out of nowhere, he looks around with an angry face. He spotted me. "EJ, stop taking pictures of me!" I jumped back. "I'm sorry, gosh." Then my mom grabbed the camera out of my hands. I was so confused. I never knew that my grandpa hated pictures. I discovered something I never knew that day, and I actually might use it for something good.
Nice job.
Well, I think from sharing and commenting on our slice of lives, we learned a lot more about each other than we did at the beginning of the year. So like I kind of learned about like everyone's hobbies and what they like to do and what they like to slice about. I think I changed as a writer for the digital writing because at the beginning of the year, I didn't really feel comfortable with sharing my stories with everyone in the class, but now, I mean, I'm kind of used to it because everyone's commenting on it and they're seeing it, so now it's okay.
I think I changed because, all the mini lessons, all the flash drafts, slice of lives, I got a lot of practice with my writing.
I kind of like the one little word because really like think about what you were going to
Write about it.
Yeah.
What was your word?
loud.
Loud. And why'd you pick that word?
Well, I was always like very quiet, especially in class, and teachers always had told me to be louder. And I like how Ms. Smith like pushes us to write to make our writing better and gives us tips.
Using the digital writing has made me change the way I write. I have learned to be descriptive and to use the one word that will perfectly describe an object. I learned how to state my thoughts clearly but in a shorter way. This was needed to write digitally.
I thought digital writing made writing more fun. We all love our phones and computers, so being able to use them both to write was fun.
As a writer, I gained more self-confidence because of the positive comments on Slice of Life. And I thought there was an improvement in the Slice of Life community because everyone was more comfortable with each other at the end of the year. No one was mad at each other for criticizing their work as long as it was constructive criticism.
I think my favorite writing thing was probably the feature article because you got to write about something that you really liked.
Football.
I wanted to ask you about slicing, Ryan, because I know at the beginning of the year that was really not your favorite thing to do.
Yeah. I just like sharing. I got used to sharing my stories with people, my classmates, and they comment on it, what they like about it. So.
You like that experience?
It's great. You have a big smile on your face.
Yeah, yeah. Nicely done.
Great.
Thank you.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Friends to you.